Hello, and welcome to Spirit Among Us. Ephesians chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. And you were dead in the trespasses and sins in which you once walked, following the course of this world, following the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work in the sons of disobedience, among whom we all once lived in the passions of our flesh, carrying out the desires of the body and the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, like the rest of mankind. So over the past 2 weeks, we've been going through these first 3 verses of the second chapter of Ephesians. We finally come to the end of a fairly comprehensive explanation and description of the fallenness of mankind. Paul describes to us who we once were, how we once lived, and why we desperately need God. Today, we're taking a look at the last thing that Paul says to us, that we were, by nature, children of wrath. Now, this is essentially talking about how we were under the wrath of God before we were saved. Because of our natural, sinful nature, we had been disobedient to God. We had broken His holy law, and as a result, we were standing under His judgment. He was ready to bring condemnation and wrath on us because this is what we deserved. Criminals deserve to receive justice, and the way we would have received justice from God would have been from His wrath. This, we must remember, was our nature and our helpless state before we knew Christ. He Himself actually spoke on this matter in the Gospel of John. I want to turn now to John chapter 3, verse 36. Whoever believes in the Son has eternal life. Whoever does not obey the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God remains on him. Here, Jesus lays out in one sentence what is required for salvation. He tells us that we must believe in the Son, and when we do that, we have eternal life. But he's using the word believe here to mean more than just a belief, really. To be saved, we need to do more than simply say, I believe in Jesus. And the clue for that is found in the second part of his sentence. He speaks about how those who don't obey Him will not have eternal life and will instead have God's wrath remain on them. Therefore, we can conclude that part of believing in Jesus is obeying and following Him. And when we don't do that, we can be sure that God's wrath will remain. It's not about just saying that we believe in Him. It's not about just believing that He's a person. It's also in following Him. He's reminding us, without saying it directly, that everyone goes through life as a child of wrath unless they come to faith in Him. Now, for us today, I think this should be a good reminder of how serious sin is. It's not something that can just be dealt with casually. We cannot become ambivalent about our sin. It is deadly. It is horrible. It brings judgment on us. Sin is so opposed and evil in God's eyes that one sin from Adam and Eve was enough to be cast out of His presence forever. We can be tempted to think, just one sin? How bad is that? It's not that bad if I just do this or that. I don't have to worry so much about avoiding this particular sin because it's not that serious. So what if we feel a little lust? So what if we tell a few little lies here and there? This is a dangerous and wrong perspective to have. One sin from Adam and Eve, just one sin, brought eternal judgment on all of mankind. One sin brought all that wrath upon us, and one sin put us in a place where we were helpless without the salvation of Christ. So let us never forget how serious, deadly, and opposed to God's holiness sin really is. I want to ask you today, how does it make you feel to think about once being a child of wrath? I'll admit, I don't really like thinking about it very much, but it's still the truth. So today, let us thank the God who has so graciously saved us, despite having a nature that was deserving of his wrath. Thank you for watching, and God bless.